Hey everyone, I'm Marissa, your Usborne book lady, and I'm going to share with you some of my favorite picture books today. So first we have Ludwig the Space Dog. This is a brand new book, and as you can see from the cover, it's 3D. So it comes with your own little 3D glasses in the pouch, which are replaceable. And any 3D glasses obviously will work. And as you can see from the illustration, they've got that sort of fuzzy layered look that 3D books get. The story itself is really cute. It's about a little dog that lives in a book like all of his other friends, and he wants to get to the moon. My 4-year-old and my 8-year-old both love this book. When the first time they looked at it, they were both trying to like grab the things an inch or two above the page. It's really magical for kids of all ages. Love that book. Next, we have Nibbles. Now, many of you are already familiar with the original Nibbles book, The Book Monster, but there's a brand new Nibbles book, The Dinosaur Guide, that's out now. So if you're not familiar, Nibbles is a little book monster who likes to eat books. And in this book, he eats his way into 3 familiar fairy tales and changes the story and then eats his way back out again. So there are 3 books within a book in this in Nibbles, and it's a really great introduction to fairy tales for people that aren't like for young kids that aren't familiar with them, but big kids who already know fairy tales, it's a really great introduction to the concept of fractured fairy tales for them. I gifted this to my daughter's first grade teacher, and she absolutely loved it. And then in Nibbles, the Dinosaur Guide, he eats his way into a dinosaur guide, and the 4th wall comes down, and the author is talking to you about how she's so concerned that Nibbles is going to get eaten or hurt while he's in the dinosaur guide. So we have to help Nibbles get out unscathed. Next, we have the Silver Serpent Cup. This is a really great rhyming, repetitive text story. It's this race that happens every year. All of the animals have these crazy souped-up cars. And there's this crocodile here who isn't playing very fairly. He's kind of a bad sport. And everyone thinks he's going to win the race, but uh-oh, there's a surprise ending, and the crocodile gets foiled. My 4-year-old loves this. It's a really great boy or girl book. Very, very engaging. Billy's Adventure. This is a series of books that I just love. If you're familiar with Billy B. Brown, our first chapter books, this is Billy as a preschooler. And what I love about this series is that adults are only involved in the very beginning and the very end. So every day her dad drops Billy off at school, and the teacher welcomes her and introduces what their theme for the day is. And then the rest of the book is just Billy and her friends pretending and exploring and making up their own stories. And then Billy, they always, wrap up whatever problem they're facing that day, and they get back to school just in time for fruit snack. And then the very last page of the book is always Billy and her dad walking home, and it's a shot of them from behind. And they're just so endearing. I've had people say they look so girly, but let me tell you, my 4-year-old boy absolutely loves every single one of these. Next, we have All Better and Little Bear Needs Glasses. You may be familiar with All Better already. It's been around for a while, but the way that both of these books work is that they have these removable stickers that are like this thick plastic, almost a vinyl sort of material. They don't feel super duper tacky, but they stick to the book really well. And if you have a child that puts them on a dog or themselves and they get a bunch of lint on them and they don't stick anymore, all you have to do is run it under some cold water and rinse the lint off and it will stick again. This is tried and true. I've had this book for probably over 2 years now, and these are the original Band-Aids and they're still sticking. So what happens in All Better is on every page an animal gets a boo-boo and you have to clean it, kiss it, put a bandage on it. All Better. So great for those kids that are obsessed with boo-boos. And then in Little Bear Needs Glasses, Little Bear needs to get his own glasses. He can't see very well. And all of his friends tell him that they can try his on. But of course, they don't work for Little Bear. Little Bear still can't see well with them. So at the end of the book, he gets to pick out his own pair of glasses, presumably with his correct prescription so that he can see well. It's just a really great, adorable story, and obviously great for any optometrist office, or if you have a little one that needs to get glasses and they're feeling a little bit apprehensive about it. Next, we have our Peek Inside a Fairy Tale series. We have several books in this series. This is Beauty and the Beast. We also have Little Red Riding Hood, Sleeping Beauty. I think there's a Cinderella one now. And as you can see, they use this beautiful filigree laser cutting technique in these books. There are flaps in them. There are peek-through holes. They're just really great interactive ways to introduce these fairy tales, and they're absolutely stunning. The design on them is just beautiful. So that's Peek Inside a Fairy Tale. Next, we have Muddle and Match. This is a really fun series. This is one of the newer titles, Jobs. We have several books in this series, and the way that they work is that they have these 3 flaps on each page that you can either match or mix up. So you can muddle or mix them, or muddle or match them. And when they're all matched up, they're alliterative. The text is alliterative. So it says, Patrick the plucky plumber places a patch on the pipes to prevent a puddle on the porch. So it's a really great phonological awareness and also really fun for newly independent readers. Next, we have There's a Mouse About the House. This is a classic. This book has been in print for since the 70s. And on every page, there's a little hole for the mouse to slip through. The mouse always moves left to right, and you can only turn one page because if you turn more than one, then the mouse isn't there. So it's really great for developing early print awareness. The story is really cute, of course. And then on the back, if you lose the mouse, there's a template for you to make a new one that will still fit through the holes. So I think that's ingenious because no little kid is going to keep track of that mouse the whole time, right? And then if you like this and you want another one, we have another one called A Squirrel's Tale. Pandemonia is probably my favorite of all of our new picture books. It's a really great, it's got really great rhythm, really great rhyme, and it's a great cumulative tale. It's kind of like If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. So it says, so you're here at the zoo on this glorious day. You're sure to have fun. It's a great place to play. Come in, look around, relax, and explore. Inside, you will find there are creatures galore. You'll have a magnificent time at the zoo. Just don't wake the panda, whatever you do. And then it goes through, and of course, it talks about what happens when you wake all of the different animals at the zoo. It's got really great, rich vocabulary, cavorting, and I can't think of any other examples right now, but just trust me, it's got really great vocabulary building for your younger kids. Next, we have A Tale of Two Beasts. I absolutely love this story. It tells the same story from 2 different perspectives. So this girl's walking along in the woods and she finds this little animal and she rescues it and takes it home. And then the second half of the story is the same encounter told by this little animal. And we find that maybe you need to listen to both sides of the story before you determine what's going on. It's a really great, and it's really funny too. This is really good for early elementary school kids as well. That's another one I gifted to my daughter's first grade teacher. And my last book that I want to talk about today is Dan the Taxi Man. I cannot even tell you how much I love this book. The whole book, again, it builds on itself, and it's got a really great rhythm. So it goes, here's Dan, beep, beep, the taxi man. Going to the show and picking up the band. Climb inside while you still can with Dan, beep, beep, the taxi man. Stop! Here's Maureen with her tambourine. Shake a shake, crash, shake a shake, crash. And here's Dan, beep, beep, the taxi man. Going to the show and picking up the band. Climb inside while you still can with Dan, beep, beep, the taxi man. And then it introduces all of the different instruments in the band. It's got such a great rhythm. It's so much fun to read out loud. So that's Dan the Taxi Man. If you liked these books, you can find them all at my website, www.booksbymarisa.com. You can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/booksbymarisa, or join my VIP group for ongoing discounts and sales and specials. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.